Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello class, my name is Lj Garba, one of the facilitators of use of English. The course code is 1201/2201. 1201 is for level 1 and 2201 for level 2 students. This course is for School of Continuing Education. It is a first semester course for the 2020/2021 session. This is module 3. Module 3 focuses on reading comprehension. Look at reading comprehension. By comprehension, simply we mean understanding. So we're going to look at the ways, skills, strategies, forms one can use for him to comprehend reading material. To read is to engage in a dialogue with the text. Reading is an aspect of communication that is highly rated. It helps us to gather information about the world and improve as human beings. It is one of the most important activities that students perform. Going by this paragraph, we can see that when you are reading, you are engaging yourself with a kind of dialogue with the particular text you are reading. As you read, you understand a lot of things that will help you to gain more knowledge, to be aware of something, and so on. And it also helps one to gather information about the world he is. Even if you are here in Nigeria, you can read what is taking place in America, Saudi Arabia, and other countries. And it also help us to improve as human beings, because when you are reading, you are free to read any material available, such as medical text and so on. As the paragraph says, it is the most important activity student performs for one to excel, for one to pass examination, for one to write an assignment, and for one to write a project. He or she has to read. So it is very important activity in students and other people's. There are many reasons for reading or purpose of reading, some of which are for information. As a student, we need to gain knowledge on issues concerning our assignment, research work, projects. So for us to get information, we have to read. Also, understanding. Reading makes it possible for us to grasp the meaning of a passage of words, phrases, paragraphs, and texts. That is, the more you read, the more you understand. And also we read for investigation. That is, reading allows us to carry out a thorough, detailed examination of issues raised in the text. We read to learn how to write. To write a good research paper or project or story, one has to read professionals' texts or what professionals in the field have done. Such reading will help the reader to handle the paper or the project and develop on it. We also read for entertainment. Reading provides creation, which is important, and for all-round education. We also read to learn how to read well by this is seen that constant reading exposes one to different types of text and their different demands, because we are not applying the same reading to all materials. So the more one reads, the more he or she exposes to different texts and how to read such text. We also read to increase our communication skills. Reading is essential for acquisition of ideas and information needed for communication. An extensive reader is often more adept at communication because of the repertoire of knowledge gathered through reading. It is a well-known fact that those who read different texts communicate effectively than those who don't read. We read for vocabulary development. Reading exposes one to words, some familiar, some unfamiliar. As you read, you are coming across different words. As the explanation says, some are familiar words while some are new. So the more you read, the more you come across new words. It also deepens our thinking. Through reading, one is often encounters different perspectives on an issue. That is, a particular issue might have different opinion by different writers. So for one to get all these point of views of different writers is through reading. That is, the more you read, the more you broaden your reading skills. What are the skills one uses for reading? Reading can be seen as an engagement between a reader and a text to obtain meaning by combining textual information with the reader's prior knowledge of context and reality. It is the most important tool you can use to gain knowledge, understanding, or interpretation of something written. It enables you to build your intellectual capacity. One can read for leisure or for specific academic purpose. Now we're going to look at intensive and extensive reading under the skills. Intensive reading is a process whereby a reader concentrates on a relatively short text in order to bring out its full meaning and to understand the writing techniques involved. The important thing in extensive reading is not how many reading materials the reader has read, but how well a text under study is comprehended. So if we understand this explanation, we can see that extensive reading is more of understanding. It doesn't focus on the total number of materials read, but the particular material one reads, how he understands that particular text. While extensive reading involves the developing the habit of going through large quantities of text, learners can build their language competence progress in their reading ability. That is, extensive reading has to do with large number of texts rather than short one. That is, in extensive reading, one reads at his leisure time, so he is exposed to different texts of his choice. And if he wants, he can read 5 novels, 2 novels a day, because he is dealing with the materials of his interest. While an extensive reading is more of short text, which is more of a academic purpose, like reading for examination, reading for test. This kind of reading is engages one with the more concentration, because at the end of the day the reader is expected to answer certain questions in order for him to pass the exams or test. While under extensive reading, one is free to read maybe at night, in the morning, 10, 20 texts, depending on his speed and interest. And under extensive reading, one is free to read whatever skills. The types of the reading skills we have scanning. Scanning entails reading quickly through a text to search for specific information or idea. Scanning is used to arrive at a specific idea. To some extent, it is very much like skimming. The only area of difference is that scanning involves more attention than skimming. This is adapted when looking for